Welcome back to Level Headed Gamer. My name is Joseph, and today let's talk about Curse of the Dead Gods. And I'm going to give you 15 tips that are going to improve your runs and make them efficient overall so that you can beat each of the temples. Without any further ado, guys, let's get right into the video and into the meat of it. Tip number 1. Utilize heavy weapons because they are a godsend. They are great at ground control, they help you interrupt enemies as well as bosses, and they can break open walls to find secrets hidden within rooms, whether it be gold or various relics. Tip number 2. Make sure to restore a couple of altars as soon as you can, so you have also the option of 3 weapons available, which you have to invest into 2-handed weapons, which will make your runs from the beginning a lot easier since you'll have 3 weapons available to you from the beginning, and then you just kind of upgrade as you get further and further and deeper into the caves. Tip number 3. Despite rolling away being the easier option to avoid damage, it is necessary to learn how to parry because it leaves enemies weak and opens you up to do massive damage. And if you have a shield as a secondary weapon, actually parrying becomes slightly easier to perform. Tip number 4. Keep track of your stamina always and have 1 bar always available to you so that you can roll away from attack from any serious damage that might come your way. Tip number 5. Do not underestimate traps and how useful they are to eliminating enemies. Some of them can be even activated on demand with a torch, like the flame torching devices you see in the Temple of Jaguar. Tip number 6. Fire weapons light up enemies. It keeps you in the light and keeps you from taking more damage, because once you're exposed to the darkness, you take overall a lot more damage. So it is in your best interest to keep a light alive, whether it be the torch or the various lanterns or lighting your enemies on fire. Tip number 7. Whips are great at stunning enemies and keeping them at a distance. Not to mention, they do a whole lot of damage as well if you get the right whip with the right upgrades on it. I always find it very useful against bosses. Tip number 8. Keep your eye on relics that decrease corruption or heal you when you dismantle them. Sometimes the benefits they give you is not as important as keeping your corruption down and your health up so that you're able to progress within the various levels. Tip number 9. Make sure to regularly invest in stat upgrades and weapon upgrades because you want your damage output to scale with the challenges that are going to be coming your way with a lot more elite enemies as well as tougher bosses. Tip number 10. Explore each room thoroughly, as you may find rooms with treasures and relics hidden, whether it's behind walls that you can break apart or just various little nooks and crannies. If you look around really carefully, it's very easy to miss sometimes. Tip number 11. Learn to enemy attack patterns and boss attack patterns. It's going to not only make your fights easier, but you're going to lose a lot less health, and it's going to help you carry over a long period of time. Don't just try to rush in and swing like a maniac. Tip number 12. When getting rid of a curse, make sure you pick out the most annoying one out of the curses that you don't need and eliminate that one, because some curses actually give you more benefits than they bring detriments to you. Tip number 13. Events yield higher crystal skulls, and it's a good way to farm them if you're trying to get some blessings or whatever it is, so when you try to upgrade your main weapons or 2-handed weapons in the altars. Tip number 14. Do not forget about your charge moves and combo attacks because they are useful sometimes, especially when you're fighting multiple weapons and multiple enemies at once. Tip number 15. Overall, strategize in your fights. This is not a fast-paced game, and it's very important to manage your stamina and your swings and stunning enemies all together so that you're doing the maximum damage, also leaving yourself with enough space to get away so that you mitigate any kind of damage coming your way. It's a very good idea in this game to strategize and take your time. There you go, guys. Those are my 15 tips for you if you're just starting playing Curse of the Dead Gods, and hopefully this was useful to you, and if it is, make sure you subscribe down below. I'll be releasing more tips and tricks and how to defeat the various bosses in each of the temples. But guys, until next time, keep enjoying the game, have a good one, take care, peace out.